The Bible isn't just a book of random stories. It's 66 different books that come together to tell one story. An incredible one about God's love for us. And now for an amazing story inspired by the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24.
God had instructed the prophet Samuel to mark David as the next king of Israel.
Get up and anoint him. This is the one.
But for the time, Saul was still king. David soon became very close friends with Saul's son Jonathan, and a popular hero, having fought and won many battles. David even married Saul's daughter. Through it all, though, Saul became more and more jealous of David, and even plotted to kill him.
What have I done? What crime have I committed?
So David fled from Saul into the wilderness, where several hundred men joined him. But even this didn't stop Saul.
Hunt him down and prepare to attack.
Over and over, Saul led soldiers against David and his men.
They're just behind us. In a few minutes, they'll be coming around the mountain. They'll be coming around the mountain? They'll be coming around the mountain when they come.
But just as his soldiers closed in on David, Saul received word the Philistines were attacking.
Guess we'll all go out to meet them when they come. Blast those Philistines.
So Saul called his soldiers away to fight the new enemy, and once again David escaped. This time he and his men settled in a new wild place called En-Gedi.
Finally! Free as a wild goat. Don't get too comfortable. You really think Saul's giving up?
Sure enough, as soon as Saul returned from chasing the Philistines, he gathered his best soldiers to track down David again.
He's coming! With 3,000 soldiers. Quick, we'll hide in here.
David and his men hurried into a nearby cave that ran deep inside a cliff.
Hey, it's dark. Yeah, 'cause it's a cave. Back, go back, all the way to the back. They're outside. They're passing by. Uh-oh.
Just outside the cave, Saul and his men halted.
I find myself in need of, relief.
What, Your Majesty?
The facilities.
Facilities?
The royal throne.
There isn't one. Use that cave.
Oh, I suppose so.
Saul stepped into the dim light of the cave, completely unaware that David and his men were hiding in the back.
It's Saul, all alone. This is your number one chance.
David could see Saul outlined in the light from the cave's entrance. Now, if he chose, he could get rid of Saul right then and there and become king himself.
What are you waiting for? Chance number 2 ain't gonna happen.
Silently, David crept forward. As he approached Saul, David whipped out a knife. His hand shook, and then he slashed off a corner of Saul's robe. As Saul turned to leave the cave, David returned to his men.
You're letting him go! I cut off a piece of his robe. I'd do a facepalm, but you can't see it in the dark. No, even this was too much. May the Lord keep me from doing a thing like that again to my master. He is the Lord's anointed king, so I promise that I will never lay my hand on him.
They could all see Saul at the mouth of the cave now, ready to step back out into the light.
Okay, fine, we'll take him out. No, don't touch him.
As Saul left the cave, David ran after.
Oh, great. Now he's gonna do it. With 3,000 soldiers around.
As David burst from the dark cave into the bright sunlight, he called after Saul.
King Saul, my master.
Saul turned in surprise. David bowed low with his face to the ground.
Why do you listen when men say, David is trying to harm you? Today you've seen how the Lord handed you over to me in the cave. Some of my men begged me to kill you, but I said, I will never lay my hand on my master. He is the Lord's anointed king.
David held up the cloth he'd slashed from Paul's robe.
Look at this. I cut off the corner of your robe, but I didn't kill you. I haven't done a thing to harm you. But you're hunting me down. May the Lord judge between you and me and pay you back because of the wrong things you've done to me. But I won't do anything to harm you.
Through it all, Saul stood stunned as the truth of David's words sank in. And finally, he even wept.
You are a better person than I am. The Lord handed me over to you, but you didn't kill me. People don't just let any enemy get away with that. May the Lord reward you. I know for sure that you will be king. Just promise me you won't hurt anyone in my family. I promise."
From the mouth of the cave, David's men looked on.
He's just throwing away his shot. Flushed it right down the drain.
After this, Saul and his soldiers returned home, while David led his men to their usual safe place.